to TV. Now guys, I just wanted to take this chance to sit down with you guys and talk about the season so far, reflect on it, so let's get into the video. So guys, let's talk about the games we've played so far. So we've obviously played 3 Premier League games and we've won all 3 games. We've collected 9 points out of them games. Now guys, in all honesty, as a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't have expected to get all 9 points out of 9. I don't think our opponents would have expected that either, considering we've got a new manager in, we have a complete different formation, and we've brought new players in. It's a pretty good start, isn't it? Now guys, yeah, we've made some mistakes, there's improvements to be made, we can see that on the field. Nonetheless, I still think we're doing really, really well, and going forward in the season, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But I am really happy with our start, and as I said, I wouldn't have expected it. And I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about the 3 games we've actually played, because I can't believe we're already 3 games in. Like, that has gone quite quickly. But I would say 2 of them games have been exceptionally hard. One of them hard, but not as bad. So obviously Huddersfield wasn't like the hardest game we've got to play, and some people did even say it was more like we're on the training field, not like an actual Premier League ground, because it's not the hardest place to go. The Kirklees Stadium, obviously. And then Arsenal. Now, I know it was a 3-2 win. Obviously, we only won by 1 more goal, but nonetheless, it was still a win. It was still 3 points. We still were better than them as a team, and we outplayed them. So again, and going on to Newcastle as well, to break that record, that cars was just brilliant, and it just makes you think how we're going to go into the rest of the season if we've already started so well. Now, I know you can't speak too soon, it's only been 3 games, but the start has been very, very positive to this Premier League season, and I don't want to act like I haven't got much confidence in Chelsea, but I really wouldn't have expected us to collect all 9 points. I didn't expect us to start so well. So as I said, I'm not trying to knock us down or anything. I'm just giving my honest opinion, and I wouldn't have expected us to get all 9 points. Comment down below, guys. Would you have actually expected us to get all 9 points out of them games? Because I certainly wouldn't, but I'm absolutely buzzing we have. Now guys, let's talk about how the players have performed so far. So I've been pretty happy with Kepa. I know he's made a few mistakes against the likes of Newcastle and Arsenal, but you can't expect a goalkeeper to come straight into a club, no matter how much that the club's paid for them, and be as good as that. Now I think Kepa's been really good so far, don't get me wrong, but he's let in a few goals here and there that he maybe shouldn't have. But as I said, even though he has that price tag on him for 71.6 million, I don't think people can really complain too much about his performances. And sometimes I think that's a lot of pressure. People would say, oh yeah, but he's 71.6 million, he shouldn't have let that goal in. But no matter how much you are, at the end of the day, you need time to settle and break into a squad. And I have been really happy with his performances. I think there's a lot more to see from him. I've got confidence in him, and I'm excited for his future at Chelsea Football Club. And so are many other fans. It's taken time, don't get me wrong, but I've been pretty happy with what I've saw so far. And yeah, I'm impressed, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Now guys, let's talk about the defence. Now I think that, I don't even drawing attention to it, because I don't like to pick out too many negatives about things in situations, but I don't feel like that's the strongest part of our squad at the moment, let's just say that. How do I word this? I feel like that back 4 is taking time to kind of gel and become a back 4 again. We were always so used to last season having people on the wings and having back 5, but now it's a 4, it's very, very complicated. So I'm going to talk about Azpilicueta, or Dave. I felt like last season he had Zappacosta and Moses to rely on next to him. Now he's that kind of winger on the side. He's that edge of the defence. That's taken him time to get used to, I feel. Again, Alonso's been brilliant, don't get me wrong, and he's even scored a goal for crying out loud. But again, I feel like he's struggling on the other side of the defence. I'm going to talk about David Luiz quickly. I'm still in debate whether it's David Luiz or Christensen who should have that position. Now, I felt like Christensen played very well last season, and I'm actually shocked that he hasn't got any game time whatsoever in the 3 Premier League games that we've already played, and I would love to see him feature against Bournemouth at the weekend. I think he deserves that chance. I know David Luiz is playing well and he's earning that position, but why not have Christensen in there? He showed such exciting football last season, and all of us fans had a lot of faith in him. I feel like he should be put in that position for some time, you know, and put him out against Bournemouth at home. I don't like not seeing Christensen play when we know the potential's there and how good he is. If Sarri will play him, you never know, and there's going to be obviously more competitions coming into our schedule shortly, but I just feel like it's just David Luiz all the time, and I do feel like Christensen deserves that chance as well. Rudiger, I'm really happy with. I haven't got any complaints there. I think he's an amazing player, and I have a lot of faith in him as well. So yeah. Now guys, let's talk about the defensive midfield. Now, it's obviously alternating a little bit. We've obviously got Kante and Jorginho. They seem to be starters. They seem to be starting every Premier League game. But it's kind of a toss-up between Kovacic and Barkley at the moment, and kind of a fight for that first team position. But having said that, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, we have got other competitions coming up in our schedule shortly. So there will be more of a fair chance, but at the moment it's kind of like who's going to play. I think the defensive midfield's working a lot better this season than last. I'm quite liking the idea of 3 being there, 3 players. And no disrespect, but I think it's working better without Bakayoko. I'm very impressed. I'm happy with all the performances we saw for the defensive midfield so far, and it is working. And how could it not work with N'Golo Kante in the defensive midfield? Hey, but yeah, promising football from the defensive midfield. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. And finally, guys, let's talk about the striker and obviously the midfielders alongside the strikers of the front 3. Now guys, this is obviously a lot debated about this. Now let's talk about Morata first of all. A lot of people writ him off, a lot of people slated him, and then he went and scored a goal recently and everyone had a little bit more faith in him. I think the potential's there. We've seen a bit better football from him this season than we did last, and I think he will get there. Giroud's now in the picture, so it'll be interesting to see what happens against Bournemouth this weekend, who's going to start, who's going to play. But at the moment, it seems like Sarri is putting Morata as his first choice striker. That may change, that may vary. As I said, we might see Giroud come into the front. But yeah, I think the potential's there with Morata. He's got a lot to work on, don't get me wrong, we all know that for sure. But yeah, he'll get there, you know. And then in the midfield, obviously, again, Hazard, Pedro, Willian, it's all them positions that kind of debated again. Eden Hazard seems to be a starter, and then obviously there's Odoi, but Eden Hazard seems to be a starter. And Pedro and Willian, again, like there's a bit of between them, like I don't know who's going to start against Bournemouth, that's for sure. Obviously it's been a mixy matchy at the moment. Sarri is like kind of mixed them up a bit, but I did say against Newcastle, I was like, Pedro adds that pace, and then Willian's still an amazing player, so it's just kind of who fits that position better depending on what game it is. For example, against Bournemouth, we might not need as much pace and intensity on the field from the midfield, so I would say put Willian in midfield rather than Pedro. Again, I think that position will be tossed up a little bit, a bit like Kovacic and Barkley is. But yeah, again, it seems to be working well. Also, Alonso and Pedro's link-up play is very nice when obviously Pedro starts. That's very nice. So it seems to be working there. And yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Let me know down below all your thoughts and opinions, how you feel the season so far has gone. We've played 3 games. How do you think they've gone? Is there any positions that need improved? Let me know. Also, guys, we obviously take on Bournemouth next and then Cardiff. So I know, like, some people might say that I'm talking rubbish by saying this, but I feel we've got a bit of an easier run than, like, playing the likes of Arsenal, you know. So I think them teams are quite nice to play. So let's see how them games go. I'm sure we should expect to get 6 points out of them 2 games that we've got coming up, because again, they're not like the most, like, the City and the United, even if I should say that at the moment with Jose Mourinho, God. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts and opinions. Don't forget to hit that big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe down below if you're new to the channel. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and up the tails. Bye!